Hello, lower school parents. Um, this is to help support the parent math workshops we had this month and just give you a flavor of what we talked about. I know not everybody was able to attend, and I know 8 o'clock in the morning is not ideal for all of us. So I apologize that that time did not work for everybody. The people that were able to attend, I think it was productive. And for those of you who weren't able to attend, I just want to give you a flavor of what they were exposed to. I can't recreate what each grade level did, and I'm sorry for that. The first 25 to 30 minutes of each talk was myself talking about visual mathematics and sharing an article and doing some activities, which I can bring to life right here for you. The second part was each grade level actually specifically talking um, what's happening for the child's experience in that class, whether it's kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth or fifth grade. That's the piece I can't recreate, and I'm sorry for that. But it also is a great opportunity for you to ask them some essential questions of your child, like, oh, can you show me, can you demonstrate to me today what you did in math class? Can you teach me how to do addition if I was in your math class? Like, ways that you allow them to be the teacher can be very, very beneficial. So hopefully that'll help guide you in some of your conversations. But I want to show you when we talk about visual math and the importance of why visual math as a foundational skill is something we need to focus on is if if we think of the idea of us saying that we have 3 plus 5, okay, I'm sorry, that's a sloppy 5. So if we have 3 plus 5, we know as a kindergarten or first grader there's multiple strategies they may use to tell us the answer is 8. But one of the things beyond that, again, that's based on a very abstract idea, is, for some children, are they able to show us that we have 3 of something, we have 5 of something, so then we have a total of 8 of something. Obviously, that's with tally marks. Or if we think of it as a visual model, the child able to recognize that my 3 part is going to be smaller than my 5 part because the whole thing has a value of 8. And then building on that, let's think about this as a part whole in relationship to subtraction. If we're saying that we have an original problem, and our original problem may be something like this, maybe it's 9 lose 4. Well, if we think about it, we have a whole bar. Hopefully in that whole bar we recognize that, okay, we have 9 parts. We're removing, and actually those are 2 pretty even pieces, so I'd probably want to actually do this with this to make it be a better portrayal. So if we're removing 4 parts, we know we have what left. Again, it's a visual picture. So the child's not just saying 9 lose 4, or 9 minus 4, or 9 subtract 4, or 9 take away 4, whatever term you like to use, tell you it's 5. The child's actually visually understanding what that means. Okay? Within the framework of that, as we build on that, well, let's think about this in relationship to, multiplication. If a child says to you, you have 8 groups of 7, again, it's great if they can tell you it's 56. There's nothing wrong with that. More importantly, when we think about brain development, numbers are in the front of the brain. The visual piece we know is towards the back of the brain. So we're engaging 2 different aspects of the brain to recall information, which is obviously just giving you a stronger understanding of what you're doing. So if we had 8 groups of 7, obviously, some child may say, well, I'm going to give you 8 bars. And each bar is going to have a value of 7. So repeated addition. There's nothing wrong with that. That's one model. That's one method to better understand 8 groups of 7. Or they may say to you that I have so imagine there's 8 cookies. And imagine they recognize that there's 7 chocolate chips on each cookie. And that's another visual model. Also in this same framework, you also could say, well, maybe they know 8 groups of 7. Well, they look at 7 as 5 plus 2. So they say, well, I have 8, and I think of it this way, I have 8 5s, I have 8 2s. So I know 8 5s is 40, 8 2s is 16, I know the whole thing is 56. Again, they're all different ways we can look at it. There's not one set way, but the neat thing is if there's a visual representation, numbers are coming to life in a whole different way in the brain. Let's think about it algebraically. You know, as we go to even another step. Okay, so algebraically, let's think about this another way. If somebody said to you that you had 2/3 of a number was equal to 12, well, if we think about that, we have 2/3, right? So let's break this up into, so 2/3 of that, so 2/3 of x has a value of 12. So each one of these must be 6, so we know x to be 18. Another way to think about it is, if somebody said to you, you have 3/4 of m must equal 21. Well, again, if we think about this, we're saying that 3/4, so 3 out of 4 parts, in terms of the whole value of m, so those 3 parts have a value of 21. So each one of these must be 7, so we know m must be 28. It's not because we've learned a rule, not because we memorized something, we're actually visually representing what the problem is asking us. You know, one last example to even bring this to life another way. If we're thinking about so let's say we said 1/2 of x equals 1/4. So again, half of x, so half of our x has a value of 1/4. So if that's 1/4 and that's 1/4, we know that to be what? 2/4, which is the same as 1/2. Let's go ahead and do one more, though. I know I said this is my last one, sorry, one more. If we said, let's say 2/3 of b, and let's say that's equal to 1/3. Okay? Well, if we broke this up, we really think about that, again, it's 2/3. So 2/3 of b. So 2 parts of 3 is 1/3. So we really think to ourselves, well, what plus what is 1/3? Well, 1/3 is the same as 2 6s. So 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, which would then give us an answer of 3 6s, which is the same as 1/2. So again, these are visual models and the importance of engaging that other part of the brain. So just want to give you a flavor of what we talked about. I know this is a short, 8.5 minute video, but hopefully this gets you to better understand the conversation we were having and ultimately being able to better support your child at home. Thank you very much.